for her.
Yeah,
First
and
serve, second serve doesn't really matter right now.
by the way, like I kind of think that the as the match went on, like the last 5 minutes, like if I'm seeing any signs of fatigue for either player, it's kind of for Świątek actually,
Mm.
which is surprising, but at the same time, well, she doesn't play any long matches ever.
Yeah, she's not used to playing 2 hours and 50 minutes. And that ball sails long, and so Rybakina is in the final. I have to say, she played a very good third set. It was so strong. Um, and it was mostly dependent on her level in terms of the first serve percentage, also taking control of more points from the middle of the court, saving break points of her own in two separate service games. And yeah, she gets the job done. Any other
Yeah,
sort
I
of
mean,
conclusions?
mhm. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
Any other bigger conclusions for
Ah,
you?
yeah, yeah. Not really. I mean, I was expecting this one to be potentially troubling. You know, it's a slicker, faster clay surface. Always seemed weird to me that this would be one of Iga's most successful clay events, but of course, it's only been her third appearance, so it's also it might not hold up in the future. Who knows? Especially if the fields are as good as they have been, basically. All in all, the match. I mean, I'm slightly disappointed, but not really with the quality in itself, but maybe more so with how the matchup looked on this court, and yeah, just how much was done on serve return, five shots tops in the rally. I think the first serve percentage for Rybakina was like the biggest, a major aspect of this, like also the difference maker between sets 1, 2, and 3, because we saw how much more on the front foot Świątek was in the second set on return, how she was able to start really pushing for that break and eventually get it done. Whereas the other sets, even if she was still getting some chances, well, it was just so much harder for her to create anything. In fact, I at the very beginning I didn't really spot it because I remember a few big first serve returns in the second set as well, like even of the first serve, and I was like, okay, so she has just upped her aggression really on return, and that's kind of working out for her. But then when you look at the percentages, it's just pretty clear that she also had more freedom to potentially attack Rybakina. Uh, Third set, many missed chances for Świątek to get back, but also many chances that she saved. Kind of the one thing that was always the saving grace we mentioned, the backhand down the line. That was fabulous. All in all, I mean, the most important event of the clay season is obviously the French Open, and this is not a horrible loss for her, sort of thinking of that for the future, as obviously the way the courts play in Stuttgart or even in Madrid have very little to do with Paris.
Yeah, and like you said, this has been a very successful tournament for her, but it always kind of felt like, based on what we know about her, it shouldn't really be, and that we maybe thought it wouldn't continue forever, and so that proved to be the case today against, if you look at Stuttgart throughout the years, it's usually always favored, players like Kvitova and um, like flatter type hitters who are just taking the
Yeah.
ball out of your hand, and you have to, yeah, just be able to withstand that barrage on the first 3 to 5 shots. But Bakina, even in the first set, like her backhand cross court was so good. The way she was just with such low net clearance and just hitting it with such precision. I felt like there were some chances for Iga, both especially in the first set, to really extend her lead. But you know, once she didn't take those, it became very hard for her to come back in that set. And when she wins the first set, that's when you start to see that you see so many players like just come out and overwhelmed by that aggression that Swiatek brings in the beginning of the match. But Rybakina was just so calm and it never really phased her. So yeah, but I'm very interested to see what happens if they play in Rome or Roland Garros.
Yeah, I would still say that Iga would be the favorite, but it's been a troublesome matchup.
Mm.
Definitely over the years, it's only gonna be well, I don't know if it's only gonna be tougher, but it's certainly, time and time again, Rybakina just proves to us that she can do it. Uh, Iga maintained her status as like the woman to beat in Doha on slower hard courts, on like very spin friendly hard courts as well. Whereas on in faster clay conditions, she kind of doesn't have that status at the moment. I guess not at least not against Rybakina, maybe even not against Sabalenka, as the last match they played in Madrid, of course, was a loss. But yeah, again, does that mean a lot for the French? I don't really think so, but it would be good, of course, for Iga if she won at least one warm-up event ahead of Paris. Gave her rhythm, gave herself rhythm, gave herself confidence, and now she only has two more chances to do it, either Madrid or Rome. Any thoughts about the semi-final, and also Rybakina's the next semi-final, and also Rybakina's chances tomorrow?
Yeah, Rybakina probably goes into the match as a favorite. I can't say that it will be an easy match for her because most of the times, she does sort of have these random dips, and it does even the match sort of depends on her first serve and also her sort of dominance in the first few shots of the rally. But if she does play like a Kostyuk, I wonder if that will be. I wonder if actually that'll be competitive. Now I'm eating my words a little bit because Kostyuk has played so many long matches. So for her this week, she might just hit a wall physically. Of course, she's been like a big story, been like a pretty big story this week. But like, if she were to play Vondrousova, that would also be kind of an interesting matchup, given some of the tactics that Vondrousova was able to use in that match against Sabalenka. I wonder if that'll actually. I don't know how that would play out against Rybakina. Like the block returns, the really good defense, the variety. So yeah, it should be interesting either way. But definitely Rybakina goes into it as a pretty uh, clear favorite for me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think she's probably going to take 3 sets to win it,
Yeah.
but likely win it if the last few weeks have told us anything. And someone just made me laugh because I put out this tweet about Swiatek and Rune earlier, and I think you also saw it because I think you quote tweeted or commented or something. And then after Iga lost, someone says both in the semis, still a parallel maybe. Well, yeah, both lost in the semis today. Both were kind of unexpected, but of course maybe even less so in Iga's case. Nurlan, is it really slow? I mean, it's not. If these conditions look slow to you, yeah, I don't think so. Anything else we need to talk about here? There's some discussion about women's basketball, which I don't know anything about, but I know that they've been sort of hyping it up and that it's getting very nice numbers now.
Yeah, the ratings have been really good.
And I guess that's kind of it then. John says that we should finish off the stream ourselves. So that's precisely what we are going to do. Thank you, everyone who watched this with us. And thank you, Vansh, as well. Congrats to Elena Rybakina, who's in the final. She might pick up a third WTA 500 title of the season. And, well, she gives Iga Swiatek her 4th loss of the year. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Is there any other stream actually lined up? That's pretty important that I check that now. But
I think someone is doing the photos.
oh yeah, you're right. There's gonna be a team doing Vondroushova Kostyuk, so actually that's why we're gonna wrap up now as well, because someone is gonna be doing the second semi Vondroushova Kostyuk very soon. The Marta Keta, as someone called it. Anyway, yeah. Once again, thank you, and we'll see you.
Yeah. See ya. Thanks.